two platoons attack. One platoon, comprised of two light fire teams, attacks the head of the column from the flank and the front on a converging axis. The second platoon, comprised of one light fire team and one heavy fire team, attacks the center and rear of the column. These attacks are timed in such rapid succession as to seem simultaneous. One fire team crests the tree line of a hill and launches its TOW missiles on the column head from the flank. The second fire team crests another hill at the head of the enemy column and launches its missiles. This provides shock effect and confuses the enemy. The attack helicopter, by remaining at or below treetop level, is extremely difficult for the enemy to acquire either visually or by radar. As the battle progresses, suppressive fire can be placed on the target by one aircraft of each team, while the other launches TOW missiles, or one team suppresses while the second team launches missiles. The situation just shown will develop throughout the covering force sector. The terrain, number of targets, and number of attack helicopters employed at any one time will vary. However, the basic doctrine, tactics, and techniques will remain constant. When the enemy forces deploy and return heavy anti-aircraft fire, the attack helicopters disengage. They use this time to refuel and rearm in preparation for re-engaging the enemy as often as he returns to march column formation.
Results of the covering phase of the war game revealed that the initial attack by the AH-56A Cheyennes resulted in 164 enemy tanks and 21 armored personnel carriers destroyed. This was accomplished at a cost of 19 Cheyennes and 6 scouts. Thus, the covering force zone, normally considered to be a delaying zone, in effect became a killing zone. 2 enemy divisions were rendered ineffective, causing a delay of 14 hours. Normal delay expected without attack helicopters is about 4 hours. The most significant fact to emerge in this phase of the action was the early decision to reinforce the covering force with the entire Air Cavalry Attack Battalion. No other current weapon system would have allowed the commander to destroy the enemy at this range, while retaining a capability to participate fully in the main defensive battle.
At 1800 hours, the covering force, having accomplished maximum delay, passes through the main defensive positions. Its attached units return to the parent unit control, and the armored cavalry squadron screens the division's left flank. Because of the extended frontage, the division commander places one air cavalry attack company under the operational control of each forward brigade to assist in covering the large gaps which exist between ground elements. New logger areas are selected in the brigade rear, near enough to friendly elements for mutual security. All available natural and artificial camouflage is used. The scout teams receive instructions while refueling and proceed to assigned sectors. Maneuvering forward of the main defensive positions, they maintain contact with the enemy and report that the forward elements of the aggressor forces are just east of the forward battalions. 2 attack platoons scramble and are briefed en route by the scouts. Based on this information, the platoon leaders planned their attack. The battalion commander requests suppressive artillery fires on the enemy columns. Other ground forces also take the enemy under fire. The attack helicopters maneuver to engage the enemy. Since the pilot's attention is concentrated on maneuvering for attack, acquiring and striking targets, the scouts provide a degree of security. As the battle develops, the scouts observe that the attack helicopters are receiving fire. They inform the pilots, who begin evasive maneuvers and move to a different attack position. Using standoff tactics, one aircraft engages the air defense weapon, while the lead aircraft launches its TOW missile at the tank. The wingman will engage from a distance of 3,000 meters with 30-millimeter fires. As the lead aircraft maneuvers into position to engage the tank from a range of at least 2,000 meters. At 1745 hours, an enemy tank column forces a breach in the brigade forward defensive positions. Although suffering heavy losses, the enemy is making rapid progress into the brigade sector. The company commander recommends that the 3rd attack platoon be committed at this time. The brigade commander concurs and directs all available suppressive fires on the enemy. Immediately after receipt of the order, the platoon is airborne. The platoon leader makes his initial attack with the platoon on line to ensure maximum surprise.
With the commitment of the 3rd Platoon of the Air Cavalry Attack Company, the main defensive phase ends. During this phase, the attack helicopters provided the ground commander with the capability to respond quickly to the numerous small penetrations along the extended frontage. War game evaluation of this phase resulted in the destruction of 72 enemy tanks and 7 armored personnel carriers at a cost of 6 AH-56A Cheyennes. The mobility, firepower, and responsiveness of the attack helicopters was the key to the main defensive action. Operational control of helicopter teams by battalion commanders resulted in highly effective coordination between ground companies and platoons. The brigade commander was able to switch the attack helicopter teams quickly to the most critical points of the action. However, this should not be considered as an on-call weapon system. Rather, it is a system which maneuvers, acquires the target using information from all other sources, and then destroys that target.
By 2100 hours, the entire division front is under heavy pressure. The enemy forces, with their superior number of tanks, have made multiple penetrations. All the attack helicopters supporting the left flank brigade have been committed. The ground forces, reinforced by these attack helicopters, are successful in holding the shoulders of the penetration, but it is estimated that 2 enemy battalions are now located within the penetration. Reduced visibility at night requires the attack helicopters to increase altitude and reduce speed. The darkness affords them concealment from visually controlled fires. However, electronic countermeasures must be used against enemy radar-controlled weapon systems. Night vision devices used in the AH-56A Cheyenne give it a near all-weather capability. Its firepower equates to the tank. yet its mobility far exceeds any ground system. In effect, the AH-56A Cheyenne provides the ground commander with a highly responsive weapon system available 24 hours a day. The brigade commander estimates that he can contain the enemy for approximately 1 hour. He requests the release of the reserve tank battalion located in his sector, and this is approved. The division commander then commits the 3rd Air Cavalry Attack Company against the penetration. He also orders the reserve brigade to move into blocking positions west of the penetration. The brigade will require at least 2 hours to move to those positions, compared to 10 minutes required by the attack helicopter. Without this means of rapid response, the ground commander would not be able to blunt the penetration while his ground forces maneuver into position. Upon receipt of the division commander's order, the Air Cavalry Attack Company is scrambled. Simultaneously, the reserve brigade begins its movement. The Air Cavalry Attack Battalion commander provides the company commander with a detailed briefing on the situation. All fires of both Air Cavalry Attack Companies are brought to bear upon the enemy force. The ground unit commander controls all fires as he has done in the previous situations. The attack helicopters alternate their return to the rearming and refueling area. This enables the maximum number of attack helicopters to be available at any given time.
By 0400 hours of the following morning, the penetration has been stopped. The enemy columns have withdrawn and the original line of contact restored. The war game assessment of this action resulted in the loss of 50 enemy tanks and 3 armored personnel carriers. U.S. losses were 7 Cheyennes. An analysis of the counterattack action clearly indicated that the attack helicopter was the decisive factor in this battle. It was, in fact, the division commander's only means of applying combat power against enemy armor in a timely and decisive manner. Had it not been for the mobility differential achieved through the Cheyenne, the enemy penetration could not have been stopped. Total enemy armored vehicle losses for all 3 phases of the battle numbered 47 for ground weapon systems and 319 for the attack helicopter. 32 attack helicopters and 6 scouts were lost. This represents a loss ratio of 10 enemy vehicles to 1 AH-56A. In conclusion, the attack helicopter, when used with ground weapons, provides the ground commander with a highly lethal anti-tank weapon, which is not subject to surface constraints of past and current systems.